Guys, we'll start in a couple of minutes. Okay. I've just see if you guys can access here. I've just sent this thing, scenario-based questions in the chat. Can you access it?
No.
No. Should I send it again?
Yeah, I'm able to download it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, please share it.
Should I send it again? Okay, one second.
Actually, double click on na, because it is downloaded.
Yeah.
It's there, right? You guys can see it.
Yeah.
Now, these are like 30 scenario-based questions. I'll cover a few more. So basically, these are questions and answers, but answers are from the perspective of a business analyst. But you have to answer from the point of view of a Scrum Master. So that is what we are going to do. But the scenario remains the same.
So can you please share it once again? I think
I didn't got that sharing details.
One sec. Send.
Yes, now I'm able to see.
Okay, good. So you guys can go through it and then we will start discussing this one by one. So don't worry, the interview will be easier, but I'm going to cover it little, all complex ones also. Okay. So let us, I think today is Friday, so some people are missing. That's fine. Let's start with the first question. You have to take a couple of minutes and then you can start answering these and then you can see what to add to your answers. So the format will be, you will explain the question first. What do you understand by the question? And then what is your answer? And then of course I'll explain what could be a better answer or whatever more information I can give you. Okay. These scenarios include stakeholder management also, conflict management also. Those things I'll explain, but not probably today. Today we'll have just okay, let's start. Who wants to go first here? PC sir, why don't you try here?
Yeah. Okay, so prioritize the backlog.
So first explain the question. What is your understanding of the question? And then attempt an answer.
Yeah, okay. So the story received in the form of, sorry, work received in the form of story. Okay, so that is backlog is there, but PO and Scrum Master have to prioritize the work.
No, see, the question is given a scenario where you have multiple stakeholders. Multiple stakeholders in CEO, CTO, directors. There are multiple people like that. Everybody is pushing for their own feature. Everybody is saying, do my feature, do my feature. How are you going to handle this situation? That is the question. So and in real life, this is very common. There are a lot of sponsors, directors, sales team is saying something, compliance team is saying something, CTO is saying something. So there are a lot of people who are going to say, do my feature and my feature. But ultimately, for a Scrum Master, what will he do in such a situation? How will he guide the product owner? So that is the question.
Uh, okay, so there are different ways Scrum Master can achieve this. For example, data-driven base actually is whatever our past velocity. Okay, based on that actually we can show the whatever velocity is there. Based on that we can take a decision. Then I mean goal driven like that means refinement focus on sprint goal
But
instead of total.
this is a velocity is we tell you how many stories we can do, but which feature to pick up, who will tell, how will we come to that? Suppose Omkar
Okay.
is one of your sponsors. Kiran is your CTO. Abhilasha is your product manager. Deepak is another director of sales. All these people are saying their feature is more important. But you can only do one or two features. But everybody is saying their own feature. So in that situation, what are you going to do? Velocity will tell you how many features. Agreed. So velocity will tell you how many features you can accommodate. So maybe you can accommodate only two features, but there are 4 or 5 stakeholders. Everybody wants their feature to be done.
Yeah.
Velocity is one point. What is the other?
Based on critical things. Okay, so what we can deliver it, I mean best way, and what is the actually impact of business. Okay, that have to consider. Based on that actually we can prioritize.
Prioritize. Very good. So yesterday we spoke about prioritization methods. So we are going to sit with multiple stakeholders and do in this situation, the first step is you are going to call a meeting with multiple stakeholders. Have them in one room with the product owner and do product backlog refinement, where all these features will be prioritized either Moscow or Kano or WSFJ, any of these methods, and you will prioritize. So out of once the prioritization is done, you will pick up the must-have features first, then should have, and so on. So stakeholders whose feature is not getting picked, they will understand that why it is not getting picked. Because first we are going to prioritize the must-have features or features with higher WSFJ scores. So as a Scrum Master, very simple. You are going to call a meeting with multiple stakeholders, tell them that let us prioritize our features. Whatever features are more important or which bring more value, we will do those first and so on. That is the first thing that you are going to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good. So basically this question is, what are you are going to call a meeting, you are a Scrum Master. Second thing, you are going to tell them, let's prioritize this. Let us use some method to prioritize it. Okay. Then next, what else can we do? This is fine. I like that data-driven thing that you mentioned. So you will use a data-driven decision, which means you will prioritize based on the data. So you will apply some method, but it is customer impact, return on investment, dependencies, whatever that is, whatever business value is coming, whatever will reduce the risk, So you are going to make decision based on the data. Agreed. That also is a very good point.
Yeah. Second thing, negotiation driven also, right? And escalation. I think escalation in the sense actually we can involve stakeholder and I mean which feature actually is very essential for business, so that feature we can deliver first, then the next, I mean other feature.
Good, 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 good. Any other point anybody else wants to make? The scenario is clear. You have multiple stakeholders. How are you going to deal with whose feature we are going to pick up? They have a conflict. They are fighting with each other. Product owner is confused. So we are going to do these two, three things. Anything else that we can do in this situation?
Market
Anything else?
What is the current market trend?
Sorry, what was that?
Current market trend which is there.
Market trend. Okay, yeah, fine. In the prioritization, we will look at the market trend. Fine, yes. Fine.
Which story gives more profit?
More profit, yes.
Means business impact.
Yes. So basically, your role is to get them into one meeting and let them use a prioritization method, coach them that they have to use a data-driven method. You will tell the capacity of your team based on your velocity. Okay, my velocity is 50 points on an average, which means we can do this many. So if you are talking about picking up these features based on in the next 3 months. So in the next 3 months, we can do something like 250 points of work. So we can accommodate 2 or 3 features. You can tell them the capacity, make them available in one room. That is fine. Then there is another coaching that you can do is you can empower the product owner. You can tell that it is the product owner who will decide at the end what is the priority of features. Because if the PO is not empowered, then whose decision will be taken? There are 10 stakeholders, everybody is singing their own song. Who will decide what are we going to do? And typically in teams where PO is not empowered, they don't agree to PO or PO cannot take decisions, then you have no direction in that team. Today, they may do feature A. After 3 days, somebody else pings, they start feature B. After 10 days, feature C. There is no plan, nothing. Because PO's word is not respected. So you have to tell the stakeholders that let us respect PO. PO is the one who will do the backlog prioritization. So whatever is his top priority, we are going to work on that. And whatever is his second priority, then next in line. So, but Scrum Master's role is to make sure PO is empowered. Whatever PO says, whatever PO prioritizes, we will do accordingly. We cannot have 10 people giving us directions. It is only PO who gives us direction. He uses a method based on that, but he will have a discussion with everybody. He will explain why some features are more important than rest of the features. But ultimately, it is the PO who decides. That coaching the assembly. Then, of course, if still if these people are fighting with each other, then you will get them in a call and explain them that team cannot take all the features. Team has to prioritize some features. They will do features which bring more priority or more value, and we will decide based on Kano method or WSFJ method, whatever we have to do. Okay, so I think you guys are clear. Scrum Master has to facilitate this meeting of backlog prioritization. He has to manage the stakeholders. We have to take a data-driven decision. We have to tell them our capacity. We have to tell them to empower the product owner. So these are some of the things that you have to do in order to manage multiple stakeholders fighting for features.
Sir, what is trade-off actually? Some actually I read somewhere actually what trade-off with stakeholder. Trade-off means actually
Trade-off.
eliminating the specific task.
Sorry, come up again.
Trade-off means actually what? Actually, trade-off with the stakeholder. That means, I mean, specific task eliminating. I mean, prioritize in next sprint like that actually.
Trade-off is if you want to pick up a feature with a higher value, then you have to drop a feature or a story with lower value. That's the trade-off.
Okay.
So my team can do 10 stories. If they want to do a new feature, they are introducing 2 stories. I can do those 2 stories, but there will be a trade-off. There will be some other stories which will be dropped back to the product backlog. That is the trade-off.
Okay.
Swapping, another word for swapping. Okay, then let's go to question number 2. Who wants to do question number 2? Abhilasha, you want to do question number 2? This is an easy. This is very easy. Because we have already discussed this multiple times.
Which list actually we are referring, sir?
Oh man, you can see it in the chat. It's there in the chat. Can you see, or do you want me to share again?
I can't see actually. I joined late.
I think you would. Yeah, no worries. I will. Yes. Okay, let us the question number 2. I think the question number 2, you guys are, you know this question, but how do you articulate it?
Just now we have discussed
Okay.
it also, like,
Correct.
or just end
How
only
to
we have
handle
discussed it.
changes during sprint?
Yes. Question number 2.
Yeah.
First, explain what is the question and then attempt your answer here.
Mhm. Okay. So, first of all, for handling these changes, first we will check the priority based on the team's input or the product owner's inputs. If that item is, let's say, if that item is on priority plus the current items or jiras which are available on our current board, those are also on priority, then we will decide like which one is the on the highest priority or which is on high priority. If both are on priority, then there might be 3 things will be compromised. Either we will need to add extra resource or we will need to give extra timing.
No, but what is the first step?
First, we will decide the
If a
priority.
new request comes, what is the first step?
First, we will sit together with Scrum team and PO, and we will decide like what is the priority.
No.
Estimate criticality.
It's not the Scrum team. It is the PO and the stakeholders who decide the criticality, not the Scrum team.
With PO.
अभी मेरी सारी मेहनत वेस्ट कर दी थी ना? So you got my point.
Yes.
It is the see, developers cannot decide the criticality. It is the stakeholders and the PO who will decide the criticality or the priority. So ask them if it is urgent. Yes, if it is urgent, what is the impact? What is the business value? What happens if we delay this request? Is it a must-have? So use Moscow. Is it a must-have? If it is a must-have, then yes, we will take it.
This was in my mind actually, but
Don't worry. Don't worry. See, that is why I'm putting you guys in the question based scenarios so that you can respond. Okay. First, establish the criticality. Okay. Criticality is established. It is not critical. It is not a must have. We can wait. Then that's it. But now let us assume it is critical. Then what is the next step?
Then we will maybe reprioritize the items from the current board. If those something is on low priority, that we will put on product backlog, and we will add the current item after estimation and everything, and start working. But keeping in mind, sprint goal should not be affected.
Good. 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 So basically, you will present the options. Option number one is we can accommodate this story without compromising on any other story. That is also possible. Maybe this story, it's a half-day story, half-day testing, we can accommodate. So, but if it is not the case, then which is the backlog item we are going to swap? Or the other option is, of course, doing extra work, like you said, or getting a shared resource. Those also are the options. Okay.
But that is the case only when the current items are also on high priority needs to be delivered.
Correct.
And new is also priority. Then
Correct.
those are the options.
Correct. So urgency does not always mean priority. You have to establish the priority. You will protect the sprint goal. These are two things that you have said. Is there anything else in this answer which we can improve? Because this will be 100% they will ask you. So it is not about whether you know or not. Of course, you know the answer, but do you know it better than anybody else who is going to be attending that interview? So can we add any other point? Yes.
Sir. So when criticality is approved by everyone, then prioritization the bandwidth of the team. That is also important. Then story swapping. Then we can swap the medium or low priority story to the next field, and we can add this in the current field, which is the more prioritized, which is approved by everyone.
Oh, understood.
This thing I can do.
Understood. Yes. Yes. Anything else?
We have to check the velocity and the requirements that we have, that environment we have, so we can take that story and we can work on that immediate effect.
Yeah, that's pretty much the capacity, whether we have the
capacity.
Fine. Anything else?
We'll take the inputs from team as well, because alone PO and Scrum Master cannot decide.
Yes, once the criticality is established, you will have a grooming session, emergency grooming session for this story, where you will explain the story to the team. You will also check whether it is technically feasible to do it or not. Are we in a position to do it or not? So that also you will check. If we are able to pick it up, so let us say the team says it is technically feasible, we can pick it up, the swapping will happen. Swapping is basically you're dropping one story and you are accommodating this story. So there is a change in the sprint backlog. There is a change in the sprint backlog. So then the Scrum Master will communicate that change to the stakeholders, that we met with the team, we are taking this functionality, we are putting the other functionality to the product backlog. This will be accommodated in the next sprints, and the team is going to deliver. That communication is what the Scrum Master will also do. So criticality is established, bandwidth you are finding out, you're doing that swapping. Then whatever is the final decision, whatever you are doing and not doing, all of that you have to explain it to the stakeholders that this is what we have. Explain the decision to the stakeholders, that based on the business priority to your management, you have to explain that there was a change in the sprint goal. We accommodated a new feature, AI driven menu optimization, and we have put the restaurant building or whatever other feature we have put it on hold. That communication Scrum Master has to do. Is this clear?
So Also risk also consider, right?
Yes. If there is a risk out of that, then you have to also. So protecting of sprint goal, establishing the criticality, checking the bandwidth of the team, communicating whatever has been done. All these 3, 4 items, Scrum Master has to do. 100% this will be asked. So you cannot miss any of these points. Okay. Next, who wants to go next? Mohammed sir. Let's go next. Question number 3.
Okay, the next question is engaging, related to the engaging with the development team. So question is, how do you ensure that the development team understands the business context of the features they are working on? So ensure the development team understands the business.
Basically, the question is, how do you make sure that your team has product developers? Product developers are developers who actually understand the product they are building. So how do you make sure that people understand the product that they are building? They understand the business or the domain side of things rather than just being technical things. Because I may be very good with Python or Java, but if I don't understand the business, I will not be able to build what the customers need. So they have to understand the business also. So how, as a Scrum Master, you will make sure? This is a common or a popular question. Product companies will definitely ask you this sort of question. Yes.
So as per my knowledge, so we might need to, the Scrum Master might need to arrange a few sessions where with the PO and the development team, where they can better understand the product, and while getting the requirements, they might need to elaborate their queries. The developers need to elaborate their queries to understand how it looks from the user or business scenario, how it looks from the angle of the business scenario. So that would make the development team to understand that why are they actually doing that particular story or a feature, why are they developing it. So if they know the business reason and if they know the business reason, then maybe they will better understand the product, and they also can provide their inputs, which
Correct.
might help in developing.
Correct. Good. That's a decent answer. Anybody wants to add any other point to it? How, as a Scrum Master, you will make sure that developers understand the why of a story or the business reasons of a story, and how you will do it and why it is important. So Mohammed sir says that he is going to make sure that these people connect PO and developers, and PO explains the why of a story. They will build a better product if they understand the business side of things. What else? This is fine. Anything else?
Sir, actually, we can do one more thing. Like my product owner, what she did was she had a session actually with all the with the entire team, and she in our session like core team refinement or some other sessions, she used to explain the entire domain, whatever is there, or the feature in advance. So in advance, during those sessions, the product owner can explain in depth on the domain knowledge. Like they can have some grooming sessions. So that is another way to ensure the developers understand the business perspective.
Good. Yes. So basically, you will have a proper grooming sessions where the product owners will explain the stories and the features. By having proper grooming sessions, you will make sure the developers understand the business context and they do it in detail. And the requirements will be in the form of a user story from the point of view of a user, so that the developers understand why they are building something. So for example, as a user, I want to receive real-time tracking of my order so that I can plan my delivery time. Now, for an e-commerce website, if you are understanding it from the user's perspective, you are understanding the why of a story. Why are you building real-time order tracking updates? Why are you building that feature? Because the customer wants to plan for his delivery. And why do you need that? If you do that, you increase the customer satisfaction by at least 30 or 40%. People who are going to use your real-time delivery notifications, they will feel better with your application by 30-40%. So why do you do this? Because how Scrum Master will ensure that this happens by making sure grooming calls happen. The user stories are in the proper structure from a point of view of a user, and then the people, the developers understand it, and the why of a story, why we are building something, is also explained by the PO. And you are applying invest principle also. By applying invest principle, you are making sure you are clarifying the story or the feature from a business perspective also. So जो पढ़ा है वही बोलना है. These scenario based questions are nothing new. These scenario based questions are basically checking whether you know whether you will do grooming calls or not, whether you will explain the why of a story or not, whether you will invite the PO in explaining all those things, whether you will apply invest or not, all these things. There is nothing new in the scenario based questions, but it is just a check whether you are able to explain whatever you have learned or not. So, okay. So first is that how will you make sure you will collaborate with the PO? Then you will have PO sessions. You will invite other stakeholders also to explain the domain or the business, like Mohammed and Deepak said. You will invite the PO to explain this. You will invite the stakeholders to explain this. There will be regular grooming or backlog refinement sessions. You will include stakeholders to explain the features. You will have user journey sessions, how the user is going to use that feature. So it is called user journey. User journey or user mapping is, user journeys are basically how a particular user is going to use that particular feature. So a PO, you will encourage the PO to explain user journeys. That is how you will build the domain or the business knowledge. Is this all clear to you? So if I can, anything else?
How invest
one
will
more.
invest criteria? Sorry.
Yeah, you ask your question. I'll come to.
Okay, I was adding something like in refinement meeting or grooming meeting, we will need to encourage the developers to ask a question, share their ideas, and make sure every voice is heard. And continuous feedback. We'll promote the continuous feedback.
That is very good. Continuous feedback. So basically now you are incorporating sprint review also. During the sprint review, if the stakeholders pass their feedback, that also is a very helpful session for the developers and QAs to understand the business aspect of what they are developing, because they will get the feedback, oh, this report is not working fine, we need more animations, or whatever their feedback is. It will give them a better understanding of the features that they are building. Yes. Okay. Now to invest
And-
is, yeah. Go ahead.
And daily connect also, like in daily stand up, we should have the communication.
Stand up will be very difficult to achieve, but yeah, sprint reviews is to reinforce the business alignment. How whatever business needs are, developers are understanding it. That sprint review definitely is one of those, but not DSU. And then of course the other is the user story, the user journeys. See, invest criteria is basically, you know the invest criteria, right? So whether the story is independent, whether it is estimatable, testable. So all of this discussion is happening. It will enhance the product. It will enhance the product. It will enhance the uh, uh, because you are having that discussion, you are getting into detail of what your customer wants. So invest basically encourages discussion to happen. So that discussion will ensure that the team understands the why of a story also, and business alignment also happens, and the domain knowledge also increases. Got this?
Also, we can say, sir, stories properly slices actually. I mean, step by step. And at the end of the grooming session, no question remain to team like that. So that means actually team is understanding exactly what actually expect in the sprint goal like that.
Yes. And if you want to add, this is a good point. And if you want to add, as a Scrum Master, your duty is to promote the culture of why, or curiosity culture, where people are asking questions and clarifying their doubts. Because the more the developers and QAs are clear about the requirement, the better they are going to build. So what can a Scrum Master do? They can promote the culture of curiosity, of asking why, encouraging people to. So if PO dismisses some questions, you have to build that culture where people are encouraged to ask questions and be curious about the domain or the product that they're building. So your role is of a culture. They are building that culture. Okay. Okay. If the requirements are not clear, you are encouraging them to ask the questions. You are making sure DOR is there. DOR means that you are clear on the requirement. If you are not clear on the requirement, you don't start with that story.
Yes.
So you have to put DOR also into this conversation. That why are you putting DOR? DOR, one of the points is acceptance criteria is clear, which means what is acceptance criteria? Business requirement. So if the business requirement is clear, then only you will proceed with the story. So you make sure DOR is also there so that the acceptance criteria, which is the business functionality, is clear to the developers. If the developers are clear with acceptance criteria, obviously they understand the domain. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the question number 4th. This is very nice question. Who wants to go? Omkar sir, let's go. Question number 4.
Okay, let me.
Yeah, take your time, no rush. We have discussed this in little bit detail, but we are going to discuss it in more detail. One of the most popular questions.
Retrospective required, I think.
Yeah.
So during the
So,
sprint review, stakeholders
stakeholder
express.
express dissatisfaction with the recent developed feature that doesn't align with their expectation. How would I do? So as a SM, I want to answer it.
Yes.
So,
Hints are there, but you have to respond based on SM, not BA. So customer in the sprint review, there is negative comments from the stakeholders.
right.
Very tough situation to handle. What will an SM do?
Okay. So I think first listen and clarify what expectation really wants,
Good.
and we have to document or return it for the better. We will get better idea. We can discuss it on later. Then revisit. We can revisit to the original goal. What we have actually set the goal for the sprint, and why we haven't met, or why the actually he dissatisfied.
Mm.
Then if there is a gap uh, between the expectation and what we achieve, then we have to acknowledge that gap, that we will improve uh, on that. Then after end the sprint review, we can collaboratively discuss the next steps, what we can do better, that this will not happen again.
Good.
Yeah. So due to this, we can avoid this in the future, this misalignment. You can say
Good.
that.
Good. Very decent answer. Good. Anybody wants to add to it? Yes, Kiran sir.
We can work on the story that what is the customer requirement is properly mentioned in that story that with the PU, and we can rework on it, and we have to identify the communication gap where the team and uh, development team has it with the PO business, a requirement with the PO, or else where they are finding the difficulty in understanding the business requirement. And we have to rework on the backlogs that how it has to be that it has to be very clear for the business team, development team to understand the backlogs or structure.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And we have to take this reviews, and we have to work on for the next sprint on this reviews that how it can, we have to restructure the other backlogs also based on this reviews.
Fair. What else? This is good. This is all good. Can anybody provide a structured answer? 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the flow of what will you do? So I think, do you all agree? The first thing is that you have to, in this situation, the first thing is that you will stay calm. You will guide the team with patience. You will stay calm, and you will stop any blame game from happening. That is the most important thing here from a Scrum Master's perspective. See, you are not a product owner. You are not a business analyst. You are not a tech lead. You are not a developer. You are not a QA. Your answer should be from a Scrum Master's perspective. So Scrum Master has to remain calm. And if there is a negative feedback, don't panic. Have that mentally prepared before even going to the event. There could be negative comments. If there is, then don't worry. Whatever is the negative comments, let us assess what is the negative comments, and then based on that we can respond. But you have to stay calm, and you have to explain that the feedback from the stakeholder is most important, and this is a review, this is not a demo. So review means there may be issues. Demo means it's a final product. If it is a problem, then it's a big deal. But this is a review. It could be that there could be something which is not aligned. Okay, that is first. So now stay calm. That is first. Then second, I think Omkar, second step was perfect. That what is the expectation versus what is delivered? What is the gap? Let us understand the gap. What was the expectation? So is it a functionality issue? Is it a usability issue? Or is it a business impact? What is it that is not working as per the expectation? They say, oh, the report, we are building a sales report, it needed to have 8 columns. Instead of 8 columns, we are just showing 6 columns. 2 columns are missing. Now that's a requirement gap. Or is it a requirement gap? Is it a bug? Or is it some other usability issue? So first identify what is the gap. Then involve the product owner. Then see if it is a valid issue or not. If it is valid, then how can we adjust it? One of the other things that you have to do is do not offer excuses, offer solutions. ये सब डायलॉग इंटरव्यू में जरूर बोलिए. I will remain calm. I will make sure that the team does not panic. There is no blame game. instead of offering excuses, we will offer solutions. Is this clear? Then, if the feedback is valid, first we have to establish is the feedback valid? Okay, if it is valid, then how can we adjust it? Is it a bug? Is it a minor enhancement, or is it a misunderstanding? So there could be only three situations. It's a bug. It's a bug. We can fix it in 1 or 2, 3 days. Fine. We'll fix that. We'll give the another review. It is a minor adjustment. It is a minor adjustment. Within a week, we can fix it. It is not a minor adjustment. Now, third case, it is a major enhancement. What we have delivered is completely different to what they want. In that case, there is a difference in how the product owners have understood the requirement and what the stakeholders have in mind. Then we have to reprioritize everything. They have to build the story from scratch, and we have to, if it is a major problem. So, but if it is a major problem from an SM's perspective, then he has to do a follow-up call with the product owner and the stakeholders, why there is a disconnect and how can we fix it so that in future stories or features, this disconnect does not arise. So if it is a minor bug, tech team will fix it. It is a minor enhancement or something like that. In the next sprint, in the next week, we can fix it. Those two are your tech team issue, and you will give an ETA talking to the tech team. That is fine. The third is there is a major disconnect between what PO thinks and what stakeholders think. In that case, PO and stakeholder calls need to happen. You will do a follow-up. You will understand why it has happened, and then you can rebuild the feature from scratch. So these are your three major points. Is this? See, this is very important. Negative feedback are very common. And you can't expect developers and QAs to give the guidance. It is the Scrum Master who has to coach the team and how to handle. If everything is great, then fine. Then there is no problem. But if it is negative, then a good Scrum Master. So this is what you have to tell in the interview. If it is a positive review, then fine. Anybody can handle it. But if it is a negative review, then only a good Scrum Master can handle it well. How? By not panicking, not blaming anybody, understanding what is expected and what is delivered, what is the gap. Is it a valid issue? Yes. Then is it a bug? Is it a minor enhancement, or is it a major revamp? First two, tech team. Third, it's a gap between stakeholders and POs. You will work with them and finalize a new story we will build, and that is how you will take. And of course, all of this, you will review it in the retrospective so that similar mistakes do not occur in future. So this is a step-by-step of how to handle the situation. Is this clear? Please make sure you understand it well and communicate in a proper flow. If you have a proper flow, it means you have handled these kind of situations multiple times in your career. Why they are asking this question? Because they want to see what is the confidence level. Have you handled this sort of situation? If you are a Scrum Master with experience, you would have handled these situations. Okay, very nice. Can I move further? Is this good? Another dialogue. Stakeholder dissatisfaction is an opportunity, not a failure. Stakeholder feedback or dissatisfaction is an opportunity for improvement, not a failure. Please remember this. So from a Scrum Master's point of view, sprint reviews, negative comments are an opportunity to improve the product. It's not a failure. That is the mindset that you have to give to the team, that it is not a failure. It is just an opportunity to improve the product. And we don't have to repeat our same mistakes. बस इतना ज्ञान इंटरव्यू में दे डालना, हो सके तो टीम को भी देना, that will be good. But so 2-3 डायलॉग हैं, प्लीज मार आना यार इंटरव्यू में. These are things which people get impressed with. If there is and do not jump to conclusions. Find out the issue first, find what is the root cause, then do some actions. Okay. And no excuses. Somebody is not there, we did not get a clarification, all that. Offer solutions, not excuses. Okay, very good. Are you guys clear? You'll be able to handle this. Okay, very nice. Okay, fifth question. Who wants to do question number 5? Priyanka ma'am, let's do question number 5. And again, this is a very common issue with the teams. But we have already discussed, so you know the.
We will be coordinating with the product owner.
No, first explain what is your understanding of the question. What is it that he is trying to ask?
So we are doing the sprint planning where the requirements are not clear.
Good. What do you mean by requirements not clear? Which means the stories are not clear, acceptance criteria is not clear, we have not done estimation, all those things are a problem. Now how you will fix it? One sec. Before anything, you can. But one thing is that you will be in a nervous state in the interview. So listen to the scenario-based questions very clearly. Sometimes people don't listen to the questions and they respond whatever is in their mind. Very important that you are patient in the interview. Listen to the question first and then respond to the. Don't jump to the questions. Okay. Yeah. Now let's start it.
First of all, we should ensure that the grooming sessions are happening before the sprint planning is done. Beautiful. So that the requirements are clear to the Scrum team.
Very good.
That is the first point. And we have to ensure that the acceptance criteria is established.
Very good.
Okay.
और क्या चीज सीखी थी? Invest.
Yeah.
So first is you will make sure groomings happen. What is grooming? Explain in 2-3 lines. Then you have to make sure PO introduces the story, explains the story, the team discusses it. Then you will make sure the invest criteria is applied. Then you explain the invest criteria. Explain the invest criteria. So let us say you mention invest, the interviewer suddenly realizes, oh, there is the candidate knows invest. They will ask you, what is invest? Explain invest. Try.
Yeah.
I is independent.
Yeah.
Independent. Then N is
Negotiable.
Negotiable. E is
Valuable. Valuable.
E is
Estimatable.
estimatable. S is
Small enough.
T is
Testable.
you cannot go to the interview without not knowing invest. Scrum Master's main role is to introduce invest. And not only you should know it, you can give examples. Very simple thing, yaar. Without invest, you cannot go to the interview. Very, very clear. Invest, independent is that story is independent. Whatever you are building, does not have any dependency. If there is a dependency, build that first, then you come to this story. Right? What is testable? Each and every acceptance criteria is testable. You can build test cases, you can create test data, all those things QA will check. S is small enough that in the minds of the developers and testers, they can complete it in within 10 days, 15 days, or 20 days, whatever is the sprint length. Negotiable, what is negotiable?
The product owner should not come with a rigid mind that he will not make any changes in the features.
In the acceptance criteria.
Yeah.
Negotiable means that the team can have a discussion and finalize the acceptance criteria. PO maybe needs 6 or 7 things, but out of those things, something may not be feasible. So we can reduce or increase the acceptance criteria based on the discussion. That is what negotiable means. V is valuable. The story is valuable. How it is valuable? The PO will explain the business reason, why it is valuable, what it will do to the customer. If you do this discussion, then obviously your business context is also understood. Right, Mohammed? Now you understand why invest is, because you talk about valuable also. Boss, estimation techniques, grooming call. What do you do in grooming call? How do you do estimations? Please, this is the basic work of a SM. Please go through it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Priyanka, you'll not forget ever invest, correct?
No.
Invest, DOR, DOD, acceptance criteria, planning poker, t-shirt sizing, Moscow. These 7 things you cannot forget. Please. I will go through it again in the next week also. So don't worry. I will go through it 2 or 3 times. But please, 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 my humble request is without these 7 things, you cannot do the interview.
So, right. Blockers.
Blockers, of course, yes. But invest, Moscow, t-shirt sizing, planning poker. These are like DOR, DOD. If somebody does not know DOR, then he has not worked as a Scrum Master for sure. It's like, I don't know what LBW is. And I'm saying I have played cricket for 10 years. How? It's very basic. Okay. So you got this, right? Okay. And okay. So good. At least Priyanka, you have you got value from you will. I don't think now you are going to forget invested. Good. So if people are not clear with their stories, you will do proper groomings. You will do invest, and you will make sure DOR is respected in the team. If DOR is respected, what is DOR? Definition of ready is what? It is a checklist which, no, why am I answering? You guys should know this. We have discussed this. I'm going to kill you now if you don't answer. So, Kiran, what is DOR?
It is a checklist which we have fulfilled the product owner requirements for that story, whatever they have mentioned in the story, like whether we have any
checklist to ensure product quality is DOD,
quality, yeah.
DOR.
Expectation of stakeholders, sir.
That is again,
Yeah.
no, DOR is whether a story is ready for the development or not. Whether the dependencies, blockers are discussed, the estimation is done or not, the acceptance criteria is accepted by the developers and the testers or not. DOR ensures that the story is ready.
Yeah.
We will not get into blockers or unclear requirement situation. So if there are unclear requirements, it means the DOR is not there, because DOR makes sure that we do not take up stories which are unclear. That is why this answer requires you to understand the concept of DOR. In DOR, the first thing is that we will only pick up stories that acceptance criteria is clear. Blockers are identified and discussed. Dependencies are discussed. Or the wireframe is ready or UX design is ready. If all of these, if DOR is there, then you cannot go to the sprint planning and say that the stories are unclear, because that discussion has already happened. So how you will make sure that the team picks up there is no issue in sprint planning? By making sure you are picking up stories that respect DOR. DOR is a checklist which ensures that team is clear with the requirements before they pick up the stories for development. One line you have to remember: DOR is a checklist which ensures team is clear in what they are going to build. That is your DOR. Please, DOR की definition पता होनी चाहिए. DOD पता होना चाहिए. Acceptance criteria, invest. These 4 things: planning, poker, t-shirt sizing, Moscow. This is very basic. I will ask you again next week. Okay, don't worry. I will ask you multiple times till you are sick of this. Okay.
Sir, one thing.
Yes,
In
yes.
short, can we say DOR is basically a checklist which says on which condition a story is ready for development?
Correct. These are the conditions on which you will pick up stories for development. If it is there, then there is no question of unclear requirements. Requirement is clear only, then only you are going to pick up. Checklist to ensure stories are done can be used in. Very good. Yes, Deepak.
Can we say DOR is something which complies with the invest criteria?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. 100% yes. But whenever somebody says unclear requirement, you should immediately say invest, 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 invest. Grooming calls invest, grooming calls invest. Is this clear? See, 60, 70, 80% of your interviews will be very simple. Agile principles and values, Scrum principles and values, Kanban principles, these 7 things. हो गया interview, इतने में ही हो जाएगा. Your 56, half of your interviews will be very simple. It will not be very difficult. It's the law. It's only the companies like PwCs or the Deloittes or very good companies where they will get into depth. Otherwise, the first round may a lot of people may not be even aware of Agile. You would know more Agile than those guys who are in the first round taking interviews. So, ऐसा भी होगा. So, but it's the third round, second round. Third round में तो definitely you will have good people, but it's the difficult companies that I am preparing you for. But for simple companies, hey, invest, DOR, DOD. Next week, if you don't have it, by the way, I have a gun. I'm going to shoot you all if you don't answer these basic questions. Okay. Okay, then, so this is clear to you. There is a saying in Agile: don't build what's unclear, refine first. Don't build what is not clear. So now you are clear. So what are you going to do? So grooming calls, invest, DOR. Apart from that, what else? If you have to glorify your answer, this is fine. For 80% of the companies, this answer is good enough. Now, for even more difficult companies, you have to say if the story is big enough, then I will break it down into smaller pieces. I will encourage the team and the product owner to split the story into smaller stories. How do you do that? There is a technique called spider technique. We'll get into spider technique. But spider technique, if you don't answer, it's okay. I will not kill you. But if you don't answer grooming, invest, and all those things, DOR, then man, you get me. Okay. But spider technique is, again, it's an advanced technique, but I'll tell you that also. But if you want to make your answer even better, then you can use, if the requirements are big, the stories are big, you will split it even further. So this is how you are going to do it. So Priyanka, this is clear. You will do grooming calls, you will do invest, you will do DOR, and you will do spider also. Okay, enough here for today. This is technical that we'll deal on Monday. So make sure you're, yeah, Mohammed sir, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I understood is like question was in the sprint planning, if the developers raise an issue that they are not very clear with it, then we would have already started the sprint planning, right? So
you would have already started
the sprint planning.
Huh.
So on that day, they would address this, right? So the developers would say that they are not very clear with the requirement. So we
if
will
they are
actually,
not very clear with the requirement, then it means that grooming sessions are missed. Invest criteria is not applied. We have picked up stories which do not respect DOR.
so at that time, what actions like, see, grooming and all we can do for the stories which are not understood. So we have to anyhow start the sprint, right? So for that, we'll pick some other stories instead of that. Or
In that case, there are two options. You can have an emergency grooming call if that is the situation. And of course, in that grooming call, you will break down the stories, you will understand the stories, team will size. There is no way out. Basically, there is no way out, right? If the story is not clear, you need to have a discussion. So you will have a discussion. So you will say sprint planning can be maybe postponed to few hours in the instead of in the morning, you can do it in the evening. But let us groom it first. So you have a grooming session where you introduces the stories. If they are big stories, you break it down into smaller stories. Or like you said, if there are other stories available, let us say if there are 2 or 3 stories which are not clear, we'll not pick those. If the PO is okay with that, if the PO insists, no, these are critical stories, we have to pick them, then do the grooming for the next 2, 3, 4 hours, and then pick up these stories as a part of your sprint. But again, this should not be as a one-off. This is fine. But if this is happening in every sprint planning, it means these things are not getting done. Okay. Okay. Have a nice weekend. I think you guys had a. So these are the scenario-based questions you can expect in the second round. Sometimes in the first round also, but definitely in the second round. For 1.5 hours, they will grill you with different kind of scenarios. But essentially, they want to know whether you know how to handle unclear requirements, multiple stakeholders, negative reviews in the sprint review calls. So these are some of the things that they may ask you. Then there are other scenarios also which we'll get into. But we could not do these scenarios. We cannot do these scenarios unless you know the basics. Unclear requirements. If you don't know DOR, DOD acceptance criteria, then you cannot handle this scenario. Okay. So these 7 things I'm going to ask you every day for the next week. So don't worry about it. Okay. Yeah, Vilasha ma'am.
Sir, one question, how to answer, like, is it only Scrum Master responsible for tracking the sprint progress?
Come up again.
I mean, is it only the Scrum Master who is responsible for tracking the sprint progress?
You already know the answer.
No, whole Scrum team is responsible.
So it is the whole team which is responsible for this. Okay. How will you make sure that happens?
Through the
The answer is very simple. You have to explain all the events. In the grooming, everybody is together to understand the requirements. In the sprint planning, everybody is together to understand whether they can complete whatever stories they are picking up or not. They themselves are picking stories based on their understanding. In the DSU, if we are not able to complete our sprint goals, we are checking whether there are any blockers or dependencies. Then you explain all the events one. So you got this right.
Yes.
At the end, I will give you a cheat sheet also for these scenarios. समझ में आ गया scenario तो बहुत अच्छे, नहीं आया तो I will explain you what you have to answer. It will be accepted most of the time. If you give 20 interviews, 20, I can give you guarantee that you will minimum get 2 to 4 offer letters. अपने दिमाग में क्लियर कर लेना 20 इंटरव्यूज करने. अब to do 20 interviews, it might take 1, 2, 3, 4 months, whatever it time takes. See, during Corona days, I used to say 10 interviews. Market was very good. In 10 interviews, you could get 3, 4, 5 offer letters. But now market is slow. Trump तो पीछे पड़ा ही पड़ा है. Market conditions are also not good. AI का advent भी है. There's economic uncertainty. There is taxation. There's all sorts of things. So, but still, the market is not closed. Market is still open for the for the good candidates. And less than 30-35 lakhs, if you are looking anything between 10 to 20 lakhs, there are a lot of options. 20 to 30 also, there are good number of opportunities. 30 to 40, it's tight. 40 to 50, very tight. Beyond 50, it's tough. Then you have to, maybe in a year's time, you may get 1 or 2, 3 opportunities. So, but below 30, market is open for the right candidates. In your mind, give 20 interviews. 20. You will have multiple offers. But ये नहीं कि अब उसमें DOR और DOD की मेरे को डेफिनेशन नहीं दोगे, ये नहीं चलेगा. Okay? Okay, so you got me. So I am telling you the very basics, but by the time we end, which is first week of October, you would have these scenarios. I'm going to repeat in the next week till you are very comfortable with these things. Okay. Okay, have a blast. Have a good weekend. Go through the sessions again. Go through the bloody PPTs. Please go through the PPTs. Without going through the PPTs, please don't come on Monday. No, please do come, but go through the PPTs also. Okay. पढ़ लेना यार PPT. Please. Okay. One sec. Okay, I'll just.
So totally we have 3 PPTs, right?
No, 2 PPTs. The third one I haven't shared. That is on SAFE. 2 PPTs only. There are essentially only 2 PPTs. 2 PPTs, and then these scenario-based questions I have given now, and then there is a link of the question bank. Those are the 4 things I have given. Clear, na? वो 2 version same PPT के होंगे, अलग-अलग version, but essentially there are only 2 PPTs which I have shared. It's there with you, right?
Yes, 3.7.
Yeah.
And the Scrum introduction, and then there is 3.7 or 3.8, whatever that PPT is called. It's there, right, with all of you?
Yeah.
It will take you just 1 hour to go through those PPTs. So all I am saying is spend those 2-3 hours, then spend half an hour every day on those questions. Go to that question bank, pick up any company, see if you are able to answer it or not. If you are not able to answer it, go back to the documents that you have, that PPT. So please, at least basic questions you should be able to answer. Don't run after very advanced questions. Forget about it. If you don't know, forget about it. At least if you are able to answer 70-80% of your questions, you have a very good chance of cracking an interview. Okay. First the basics, then to the advanced. Okay. We did a poll, right? No. Okay. Okay, have fun. I'm going to bore you next week by asking same things again and again. Till the time you all give me answers. I mean, that's the secret of mastery. You have to do same thing again and again till you get it. Okay, have fun. See you on Monday. Take care, guys.
Bye, sir. Good
Thank you.
night.
Happy weekend.
Happy weekend.